This is the third episode of this series of me brewing the Moka pot using an induction hob. Now, in the previous video we saw how grinding finer helps us to increase the extraction and also the intensity of the coffee. And that is a case that you should consider as a variable to change the grind size, grinding finer, when you have a coffee that is a bit weak and doesn't have a sweet taste, not enough. So that we need to push the extraction that from having a higher acidity to have a balanced sweetness. In the coffee that I brewed the last time, I said, yeah, okay, we gain intensity, has a better mouthfeel, heavier body, like I like it. Also, we wanted to achieve more sweetness and a better aftertaste. Now, in this video, I want to extract even more, okay? I want to push the coffee even more. There are two ways, or I grind even finer, okay? So I go even finer, and that will increase the contact surface in between coffee and water and the contact time in between coffee and water. So we will have a higher extraction. So we go to the same direction of the previous video. That's something you can do, of course. So push the grind size, but in this video, I want to do something different to increase this extraction, and that is by using a paper filter. Now, I've already done a video about paper filter with Moka pot. I link it right here, so you can go to check it out. And I explain what are the advantages to brew with a paper filter with Moka pot. One of these is about the fact that a paper filter applied on the actual Moka pot filter increase the resistance, okay, of the water coming up, and that will basically let the water sit for a bit more in the coffee pack, in the basket. Where is the basket? And also the resistance is going to create a bit more pressure inside the Moka pot, so that we will have also a higher push, more intensity, and also, of course, more extraction. So today, let's brew the coffee. Let's continue this journey of brewing with the same Moka pot. I have the same coffee, same grind size, same water, everything the same as the previous video, but adding the paper filter. Let's see how this will change on the stove as a taste, the TDS. We have the references from the previous videos, and let's see what I can achieve. And let's see, of course, how it tastes. That is the most important thing in coffee, is the taste. Numbers are good for references, but the taste is the most important thing. All right, let's start to make the Moka pot. I will use the same coffee that I was doing in the previous video. It's a Wash Colombia. It's almost finished, so maybe I can do this another video with this coffee, then maybe we can change it and see with the variable that we found with another coffee how this is going to change. That is for another episode. So let's place again 18, and I'm going to grind this coffee with the Sculptor 78S at 5. Let's double check the dose. All right, 18. Now let's place the coffee in the basket, and as always, I'm going to help myself with the dosing ring and the WDT tool. And as I said in the previous video, and I think I will repeat it in every one of these if it's the first time you are joining the channel, so you already know. Distribution is the important thing. It's one of the most important things, if not the most important thing, when we make Moka pots or espresso, as I said last time as well. Because even distribution, it will help the water to flow evenly throughout the coffee when it's coming up from the boiler, and that it will extract in a proper way. It will create a nice extraction that is balanced based on how you control the variable, but the distribution is the most important thing. If you have the coffee just in one side of the basket, for example, it's going to find too much resistance on this side, and so the water will flow mainly from this side. Okay, finding easy channels to go through, and here you will have over extraction from this side because more water will pass through here because find less resistance, and more resistance here, so less water passing through this part. So you're gonna have over extraction here, so you're gonna feel bitter taste here, but also high acidity from these particles here because the coffee won't extract all of them, all the particles won't extract in the same way. So that's why distribution. I will repeat it every day, every time. So you will memorize this forever. And these tools makes the life easier, just what I say. Otherwise, you can use your finger, try to level up everything, maybe with a spoon as well. Just be careful, don't push too much, otherwise that is going to create too much force, too much damping, and then it will be as well like not very well distributed. The water will struggle to pass through uniformly through the coffee, and it's going to find an escape, okay, to go through, like for example on the side. That is very common in espresso as well, when the water can flow very well on the side here in between the coffee and the board of the basket, if it's moka pot or even like espresso is the same. And finding the channel on the side, you want to extract very well on the middle, and the particles that are on the side will over extract. Anyway, closing this parenthesis, let's place the water in the boiler. Keep the same level of water. I will still keep the 150 grams. Okay, again, room temperature water. We will explore water temperature next times. Okay, perfect, 150. Okay, now place the basket, and it's time to apply a paper filter. It's fine just to apply paper filter like this. Okay, on a 3 cups it works pretty well. 4 cups works fine. 6 cups as well, it's okay. The diameter, if you have a smaller pot like 2 cups, you will struggle a bit because the diameter of the paper filter is wider, so you need to cut it. Now, this variable of the paper filter, like the other variables that I'm describing right now or in the previous video, I already said this in the previous video, and I want to renew this also in this video. That's every single variable where I'm talking grind size, paper filter, distribution, water. Everything I'm talking about is not just for a 3-cup moka pot from Lavazza or the induction hob. These are information you can use for every single moka pot. They are very useful information that you can apply in coffee brewing, not just with this setup. Okay, let's continue. Let's close the moka pot. Of course, just make sure that the paper is aligned with the 3 cup. Is very easy because it's the same diameter of the filter, so it won't escape too much, it won't bend anywhere. And but with a bigger pot, maybe just make sure that the filter is aligned. You can wet a bit the paper so that stick on the filter to the metal one, so you know that it's not going to move from there. Okay, now moka on the hob. Timer, let's see what changed. Last time the coffee came out 350, I think. Let me see the notes. Yes, around 350. On the timer was showing 340, but I start the timer 10 seconds after, so that's the real time is going to be 350. But this time I need to remember to start the timer as I start the brewing, like now. All right, so power, I will keep it in 1200 watts, like I did before. So, and then we will reduce it as the coffee comes out. Place again the thermometer, for me just for reference. Okay, now little parenthesis on the thermometer while this is brewing. With this thermometer, my concern is not about the brewing water, the brewing, because it's after. So, and also like I don't need the perfect temperature of the exact liquid of coffee. I don't mind. I just need this as a reference, okay? So if it's a cheap thermometer, if it's not an industrial one, it's not a data logger like a super cool with a wire that goes inside, I don't need now this, okay? This is just for me as a reference. If it's not accurate by the degree, it's fine. I just get a reference of the not accurate temperature. It's fine. If it's 5 degrees off, I don't mind, you know, important is always 5 degrees off. It's just for me to understand more or less if there is more resistance, less resistance, because I build this reference with years, okay, I can say years. So by look at the temperature that the thermometer show, not now, of course, I can understand if I can push more the coffee, if I need to push less the coffee. So don't worry about the precision of the thermometer or where I place it. It's my thing, okay? I'm not telling you to do this. It's just for me to get references and then share with you things that I found, okay? No worry. All right, now, last time came at 340, now we are 220. We're talking about the paper filter. Regarding the paper filter, I am using a classic Aeropress filter. It's very easy to find. I will leave a link in the description box so you know where to find it. Okay, 350. So now we are 350. So last time it was coming more or less at this time. It takes a bit more time, so it's fine. That's what we wanted to achieve with the paper filter. That is the goal, right? I want to increase extraction, and I use the filter to increase it and not grinding finer. Okay, we have 5 minutes. It's taking a lot of time now. Okay, something is moving. I can feel it. It's coming. There we go. Coffee's coming. Let's put the power down to 800 like last times. Temperature, you see, 65, 66, 67. So it's very hot. It's hotter the coffee. That means that it will extract more for sure. 72, 73. I don't need this anymore. But that for me was just a good reference to understand the coffee was coming up 10 degrees more compared the previous one from the previous video. So now I'm gonna reduce to 600. Also you can see, look, it starts to make a bit of crema. That means that the pressure is higher inside the pot. Okay, now I think I can turn it off. Coffee, it's done, came out. Okay, you see from this back thing of me turn it off, you see, look, bubbling, continue the bubbling. That's what happened in the one from the previous video. Look, it's coming even more, a bit more. So this is a sign of high pressure, okay? High pressure, the fact that we build a lot of pressure inside the Moka pots, and that is the results. Now, should I be worried about these last bits that came out, the bubbling? I don't know. We will taste it and we will see if it's a problem. Okay. Now let's give it a stir. Now it's time to taste it. Aroma is richer. Even the color, it's darker. What should I expect? I should expect, first of all, a stronger coffee, more extracted. But the other positive thing of the paper filter is that help to retain all the fine particles of the coffee in the basket and not let them come up, basically, because the mesh of the paper filter is way finer than the mesh of the metal filter, if I can say mesh of the paper filter. I don't know if it's a proper word, but let's say the porosity of the paper filter anyway retains the fine particles, and this can bring to the cup better clarity of flavor, maybe a lower body, but it depends. Now we need to taste. Now it's a bit hot. I need to wait that cools down a bit more. Now it's good. All right, so okay, now it's sweet. I think it's very well balanced. Okay, I think we are there. I think if I push a bit more the extraction, I will start to get a bit more bitterness. I can push it just to understand and then take a step back. That's how you should work with adjusting variables. Try to push a bit more and then you see if it's getting worse. Take a step back, that means that is your spot. So the coffee is clean, as I said, with a paper filter, give a cleaner mouthfeel. We lost a bit of body, I can say, compared to the previous one, but it's something you need to expect when you are using the paper filter, because also the paper filter retain oils of the coffee. Now it's time to take some data. Let's put a sample the refractometer. Another thing I need to say is that all these variables also depends on the kind of coffee you're brewing, because coffee is another variable, is another important variable, the coffee and the water, okay? Forget about grind size, dose, brew ratio, temperature, okay? The kind of coffee you're brewing and the kind of water you are using, so the water in the kettle, not the temperature, or wet kettle, bottle, filter, whatever you're gonna take the water. Tap, sometimes, depending on the area. If it's a really good tap water, why not? Use it, even better. But the quality of the water is very important. So sometimes, you know, like having the same grinder, having the same stove, having the same Moka pot, having the same paper filter, in this case, it's not always the same case. So sometimes it's very hard to give references on grind this coffee at this setting or use this temperature of water. Might not work for you because the coffee is different and also the quality of the water is different. So what I want to try to teach you is how to control your variables, okay? That for me is the main goal for with the tools you have, how you can achieve a better coffee. Okay? The coffee I'm brewing is a medium roast. Okay, it's a medium roast, so I had to push it a bit more. Maybe if you're using a dark roast, the paper filter, grinding finer, all this changing that we did so far with this video and the previous one, maybe are too much already for you. So we will go there. I'm already planning to get some darker roast or lighter roast, so we can also play with different coffee, and that will be very interesting to see. Let's say TDS. Okay, I can already say it. Okay. I'm just waiting to see when it stabilizes, and then I will show you like what is the difference. Just placing the paper filter, all right, on the Moka pot with the same grind size and the same coffee we did, and the same kind of like 18 grams in the basket, the same grind size, the same amount of water, same pot, same everything, all right? Just adding the paper filter, you saw the timing was higher, over 5 minutes, and this is the TDS, so the intensity, the total dissolved solutes, the solutes from the coffee here that end up in this amount of water is 5.88. Now, we went from the previous one that was 4.07, okay, to 5.88, and that is a massive gap, a massive difference. How this coffee is stronger, okay, but also is sweeter because the extended brew time, okay? Now, there is one thing that just came in mind, something that I didn't check, and that was the yield, okay? So the amount of coffee that I have here collected in the upper chamber. That is very important because if not a lot of water came out from here because it was too much pressure. I didn't see any sputtering, so I doubt that. But in the case you have like a lower liquid than usual because there is so much resistance and you start sputtering, you stop the brew and you see that the chamber is not filled as usual, that means you have less water here and automatically the TDS, the total dissolved solutes, is higher because the majority of the compounds are extracted at the beginning, okay? The majority of TDS is at the beginning. So the latest when the pot starts to be faster here, the water, you see the color of the coffee start to get lighter. That is not a lot of compounds of solutes because most of them have been extracted at the beginning. But I didn't check, so I don't know if we have the same yield from the previous one, okay? Maybe that's something that I need to start to do from the next video, start to understand like, okay, do we have the same amount of beverage every time so that we can also see the difference, okay? But that was the product of today. 5.88. I can feel the intensity, but it's not overwhelming. It's okay. The paper filter helped to clean the taste and it's very enjoyable. So for me, this coffee, that's how I like it, okay? Punchy, very good intensity, 5.88 it's a lot for a mocha pot, I have to be honest. But I like it. It's very close to espresso strength. This is very good also for pairing with milk, if you want to drink with milk. So just I want to show you the fact that on the mocha there is no fine particles, okay? There is no particles of coffee because everything was trapped by the paper filter. Success. So I'm going to finish to drink my coffee and I want to renew the fact that thank you very much for all the comments that you're sharing with me. Continue to interact with me, let's continue to engage because I really like it. And then I will see what is going to be the next things to change, because if I see that this coffee is good, maybe I should change coffee and start it from this point and then continue to change. So I need to think about that. I want to cover most of the variables that we can find in coffee brewing, in this case with mocha pots, and that's it. It's fun for me. It's great. Let me know. Is it fun for you? Share your love with me. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next episode. And in the meantime, I wish you a wonderful day and delicious coffee. Ciao.